So, a few weeks, well, not a few weeks ago, a couple of days-ish ago, I said I was going to put a video up, and I haven't had time to post or anything, so it's a bit late. And I said I was going to post it up because I went into hospital. And I'm going to be saying everything that's went on. So, start off at the beginning. Don't know who my real dad is. Left me mum when I was not even born, really. She met my stepdad, they got married. Not really much of a talker when I was growing up. Found out I didn't talk that much. I just do things for no reason. Things have happened between my stepdad and my brothers and sisters. Some things I don't know, some things I do know. But with me, say it starts about, we'll go from age 11. It's where all the name calling starts, all the abuse. You get labelled every day, you get called fat. There was days when I'd just cry and cry. Then he'd have a go at me for crying, tell me to get over it, it's a sign of weakness, crying. Then it got to the point where I stopped crying, I just put a hard face on. But it's years and years of insults. And at the age of 11, that's the first time I started to self-harm. I cut myself a few times, and it was my way of releasing the pain. So yeah, and it just went from there. Around the same time, he was maybe a bit younger, he was dead abusive with me. I was locked in my room at one point. My mum knew nothing about it, because my stepdad turned around and said that he never actually locked me in there, but he did. He gave me a bucket for my things. Food was slipped through the door, and it normally just went on the floor anyway, so I didn't really eat it. But one time he forgot to lock the door, and ran out my room. First thing to do was go to the toilet because I was bursting, and I ran straight into him. He grabbed me, pinned me up against the wall, my feet were off the floor. He was just yelling and shouting in my face, just giving me shit. Then he got me by my ears, dragged me into my room, and launched me onto the bed, locked the door, drilled it shut so I couldn't get out at all. And then just all the name calling kept going on for ages. It got to the point where I wasn't even speaking in front of the teachers or my mum or anyone. Hardly speak. He was giving my sister shit as well. And then something happened, I don't know what, and we had to move, so we moved houses. We came down to here. Everything was fine, everything was normal. Couldn't really notice the difference because we turned around and said we were all going to change. It's going to be a new start, and I believed it at first. And then everything kicked off again. My nan started to get ill. Stepdad was getting aggressive again. It's not really my place to say, but I seen him beating my mum at one point. Just the name calling started again. My brother left. Not that bothered about. Never liked him anyway. But he left. I was left with my three sisters. Then my oldest sister left because she was done with all the shit from Paul. So he's just giving everyone shit constantly. It was only me and Lauren though, and my mum. It was never Trinity or Angel. But we were getting shit every day, abuse every day. And then I got back into my self-harming. I was cutting myself nearly every day. A few people knew about it. Then my nan passed away. That hit us all. I did try committing suicide a couple of days after she passed, which I'm not proud of, but yeah, so I kept cutting myself. Then my mum found out about it sometime later on through the school. I told her I'd stop, but I just carried on and carried on. The name calling got worse. He turned around and said he was glad I wasn't his son. Just all that shit. He said he wasn't asked if I went. So after all that shit, after everything from my nan and that, I cut myself deep a lot, and I was bleeding a lot, and I tried hanging myself again, and I got a call from a mate, and kind of stopped me in a way. Then we got into the counselling, trying to sort myself out, and to be fair, counselling never worked for me, so I just went along with it, pretended everything was alright, sorted myself out, pretended to. I was still self-harming. I said I wasn't, but I still was. Then I got to a couple of months before my stepdad hung himself. Just arguments were going on and arguments, and I just couldn't cope anymore, so I tried hanging myself again. And I just couldn't this time. This time I knew that was it. I need to get this sorted. And I was just bleeding, and I was an emotional wreck. And then we got into the CAMS. Social services got involved. I told them everything that had happened. A few occasions I was a bit wary, because they said that the police had had to get involved. I didn't want that. I just wanted it to all be fine again. And it came to the day that he hung himself. My mum called me. She was like, "Get your sisters, get some clothes ready. We're going out." At the time, I didn't think of anything of it, so we just left. My mum turned around and said not to speak to him, not to answer any calls and that, which she still has her reason for, but I don't need to know that. All I know is they found out some stuff that he's done in the past, because I know that he'd hit other kids. And we got to the hostel. A few hours later, Lauren was crying down the phone to us, saying that he'd hung himself and that he was found dead. We didn't believe it. Steve phoned up, said it as well. We didn't believe it. We just couldn't believe it. Then the police came, they confirmed it, and then just since his passing, I've been feeling like it's my fault. If I hadn't have told anyone, if I hadn't have told Cams, he'd still be here and that. My sister did still have a dad to look up to, and it just gets on top of you. It does. It feels like you're the main cause of every problem. And there's days when I'm in a good mood, I'm in a brilliant mood, and it just drops down to shithole. And someone can just say one thing, it's one little word, it hurts a lot. It's like I walk around, I hear people just joking about dying and hanging themselves and shit like that, just being utter dicks, pretending to jump in front of cars, just stuff like that. And it just pisses me off, it angers me. And I got stressed out a few times again after his death, because I thought it was my fault. So I did start cutting myself again. And then I got angry, and then I got stressed. and I started getting labelled again, so I just carried on cutting. And it's hard to explain, but there's certain things have happened recently, like being admitted into hospital, and then things that do get to you is like when people lie about things. Like it gets me now. It's always got me when people lie about like self-harming and stuff. When people lie about that or just do it for attention, that angers me a lot. And people don't understand how serious it is, because if I could go back and I could stop myself, if I could find a way for myself to cope, I would. But for some people, that's their only way. So when you get people who just do it to fit in because they want to look, I know it sounds weird, look like everyone else, be like everyone else, then they just need to get a grip, because honestly it's not something to joke about. I've had so much shit through my life, and it is hard, it's hard coping, but at the end of the day, all I do now is I put on a hard face. Deep down inside, I see my friends every day, and I just want to just cry on someone's shoulder. I'm not bothered about it anymore. I've cried a load of times in front of my mates, and it's only now that I'm starting to cry again, because I've held in my feelings for so long now. I've held them all in, everything that's happened to me, and I just can't hold it in anymore. So that's all I can say for now. But yeah, thank you.